Wake up and I feel like cash. Wake up and I feel like M's. My foot stays pressed on the gas. I'm glad I don't feel like them. They might just get flexed on. Got that spice like Szechuan. Can't be touched, I'm Teflon. Once I met Zac Efron. Go hard for the bros and the bros hot mine. Don't think for a sec that I won't drop on. Wanna stay for the show? Just log on to RoneDotCom. Get knocked off and we still rock on. Come to the pound, see a real top dog. Wanna stay for the show? Then just log on to RoneDotCom.
Ah! Ooh, that came in hot. Ah! Let's see if I can fucking pass out on camera. Let's see if I can make myself fucking pass. Type shit. RoneDotCom. Another fucking week, bro. I won't. Okay, I won't. You're right. You guys called me the fuck out. RoneDotCom. Welcome to the fucking show. If you have firearms, fire them into the fucking air, dude. I don't care what state you're in. I don't care if you're in New York and it's a 2-year goddamn mandatory minimum, dude. Fire them through the roof of whatever vehicle or home, whatever domicile you're in right now. Fire the fuck off, dude. It's another Wednesday. God damn, are we blessed to be here. God damn, I'm fired up to be here. So appreciative for the people that are in the fucking chat right now. We have a hell of a banger for you guys today. It's another rainy day in New York. Do I give a fuck? No. Feel the rain on your skin. As my girl Hillary Duff said. You know what I mean? No one else can feel it for you. I'm pretty sure, I think that was her. And how about Hillary Duff, dude? The fact that, no, not her. Feel the rain on your thing. No one else can. Natasha Bedingfield. Got the whole booth saying no. Shout out to the fucking booth, bro. Shout out to the fucking booth. Only you can let it in. No one else. Hillary Muff, bro. Exactly, bro. That's what they're saying in the fucking chat. They're calling her Hillary Muff. How about that Eminem song? I was listening to an Eminem song where he was like, ass like that, then I take it, then never get, I never seen an ass like that. And then he goes, Hillary Duff is not quite old enough, so I ain't never seen a butt like that. Eminem. Welcome to the Diddy trial, my friend. You're a pervert. Checking out underage ass? See, I was underage at the same time. Hillary Duff and I like this, same age. It was permissible for me to look at something like that. An octogenarian like you. And from what Dave said, I'm the real life Eminem. I don't know if you guys saw that. He was talking to Shannon Sharp and he said that I'm the real life Eminem. The real life version of a real life person. Impressive on my part, I would say. Bella, I've become a massive fan of you, Francis and Surviving Barstool. And I absolutely love the content. You're the best man. Thank you so much, Bella. Bella Garcia. It's like Garcia, but an Italian version. Shout out to Bella. Bella is our new wealthiest patron. Bella has unseated Kevin. Kevin Singh every week in the chat has always been dumping some cash out. Bella is now the top dog. Good for her. Congratulations on unseating Kevin. You are the richest woman now. Congratulations. Very much appreciated from Bella. And thank you for rocking with me and Francis. And thank you even more for excluding Little Sasquatch. That means the world to me. But back to Hillary Duff. Is she on the squat rack? What the fuck is she doing, bro? What the fuck? How did that happen? You know what I mean? And shout out to Miranda from Hillary Duff's show. Miranda was the best friend. I always enjoyed Miranda. And then shout out to the dude Adam, who was also on the Hillary Duff show. He was like 26. He was in Eminem conversation. People saying absolute dumper. $4.99 in this economy? Exactly, bro. I've seen one of the biggest indicators for the economy being shitty is high value art markets. So art that usually goes from 50 to $100 million. And if people stop buying that, that means bad things are coming. And there was some statue called like Flathead that was supposed to go for 70 to $100 million, and no one fucking bought it. Which, if nobody's buying Flathead, we're fucked. You know what I mean? And, you know, take that story to your guys' friends. Take that story as an economic indicator to the people that you know and love. And so the fact that Bella has it like that, Bella Garcia is still doing it big like that in this economy, God bless her fucking soul. No one can even buy art anymore, and she's dropping a bacon, egg, and cheese worth of cash on me. She's dropping a New York cold brew before the tip on me. Actually, cold brew, bro, they're banging you for $7 these days. You know it's bad when the beans are expensive, when the coffee beans. Rone, how do you feel about the tush push being banned? Is that official? Did it get banned already, or that's the date? I know that they have the vote today or tomorrow. I'll be honest with you. I hope they ban it. I hope that they ban the tush push, because it will put a scarlet letter on all of the people that have voted for the banning of the tush push. The mark of cowardice. A dark mark of how scared you are of getting that shit shoved down your fucking throat by the Eagles. It doesn't matter. You ban the tush push, we'll find something else. It says more about you than it says about the Eagles. It's not a football play. What is a fucking spike then? Is a spike a football play? Are they throwing it at a fucking eligible receiver ant? That's not a football play. There's plenty of shit that's not a natural football play, but sometimes it works out. I hope they ban it. That's fine. I don't mind if they ban it. I think that people love to discredit the Eagles. I think people love to think that if we just stop this one thing, it'll all stop. Is the tush push what held the Chiefs to 6 points through 3 quarters in the Super Bowl before they got their little pity points? Was that the tush push? Was the tush push when A.J. Brown caught the touchdown, when Devontae Smith caught the touchdown? Was Saquon Barkley running for 2,000 yards? Was that the tush push? No? Ban the thing. I don't give a fuck. I truly do not give a fuck. Could spiking the ball hurt someone? Has the tush push hurt anyone? Could any football play hurt anybody? You're throwing your body like a fucking missile at another human being. You're throwing a human projectile leading with the fucking head like goddamn Brock Lesnar. Everything is dangerous about the football. If you're scared, get a dog. Facts. Don't cry about it. Just beat it. It's the rules. Just fix it for defense. All the people that are voting against it, specifically you, Green Bay, specifically the Green Bay Packers, who are trying to push this forward. The football gods will not smile on the people who want to change the rules because they are scared. Okay? People aren't going to fuck with that. Sass actually 6'6". He's 6'7". Rone, good morning. Love what you're doing here. Inspired to see others raise up as well. Good shit, brother. Nixon 5. All right. Fucking go then. You inspire me, my boy. You inspire me. Lil Wayne hates the tush push, I heard. Facts, bro. He needs to figure that shit out. I'm going to the Lil Wayne concert, though. June 6th, 6/6. It's going to be wide stance. You see that shit? Wide stance. Need the dozen gossip, Rone. I don't know. I'm not tapped in. Jeff Lowe and I's correspondences are completely centric around just dudes that he finds and that I find that we share with one another. It's more of just a currency exchange, a trading post of interesting gentlemen who decide to put their brands of content online. And you know what? I put some weird shit online too. So all I can do is fucking watch them. Not judge them. Just be like, hey, you're doing some interesting shit out here. How do you think Dan Campbell voted? Well, the thing is, bro, these teams are like voting based on the owners, which is, it brings shame to a football guy like Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's a fucking rocked up man's man who pisses blood and sucks vinegar. And somehow there's that owner who's scared of the Eagles and he's going to push his agenda on. That's the real tush push, is these owners getting behind these big, strong coaches and pushing them forward. Do you think that fucking Johnny Wilson, the receiver who's pushing Jalen Hurts in, do you think that that's the difference? You think that, like, Kenny Gainwell, the 5'9" running back who was pushing Jalen Hurts in, that's the difference? Let the boys play, okay? I respect the hell out of Dan Campbell. Philly can't even pump gas. Get your shit straight. That's Jersey, dumbass. Roasted. Another victim. Fucking idiot. That's New Jersey. Philly pumps their own gas, okay? So get it right. And you know who plays in New Jersey? The Giants and the Jets. Get William Montgomery on the pod. I fuck with William Montgomery. Chaotic energy. I enjoy that. And he's under the spell of Tony Hinchcliffe. I used to, when I lived in Los Angeles, I would go to the roast battles. This was like 2016, 2017. I would go to the roast battles. And Tony Hinchcliffe was a fledgling young comedian who was doing roast battles out there. And I would even judge the roast battles sometimes with the likes of Dave Attell and Jeff Ross and Mike Lawrence. And I believe that I even judged one or two of Tony Hinchcliffe's roast battles back in the day. So you could call me a kingmaker. You could say that he's under my coaching tree, because not a lot of people were talking about him before I started judging his roast battles that one time. And now he's rich. Now he's making enemies of Puerto Ricans everywhere, sucking cigarettes with Bill Maher, talking about his political ideologies. And that's what I fucking want, dude. I want to know what all comedians think about politics. I like that. Tony under my wing is crazy. Pacers in 5. Man, that would be so tough for New York, because New York has been celebrating. New York has been enjoying themselves as if they had already won a championship. Rone took work off for the rest of the week for no reason. True. Shout out to the fucking chat, dude. I love interacting with you guys, where I'm forgetting what's on my goddamn agenda. Let me get to the fucking agenda one time real quick. So, first of all, we are going to be starting up a Reddit page. We're going to be starting up a Reddit page in hopes of creating more content for you guys. So the RoneDotCom Reddit page will be a place for you guys to submit your videos, for you guys to give me videos to watch, for you guys to have conversation starters that you want to talk about, for you guys to have advice that you want me to talk about, hot button issues, interesting things where you can be as interactive as you want. And that's all in the vein of me wanting to give you more content, because I'm going to take what's going on the Reddit page and make videos about it, answering questions, talking about stuff, watching it, in hopes of giving you more shit earlier on in the week. My whole goal of this is baby steps, of course, crawl, just lift my head, maybe roll over, then get to crawling, then get to walking, then get to taking baby steps, then get to just, a little bit of a saunter around. Then I'm running. Then I'm cantering like a horse. Then I'm sprinting like Usain Bolt. Then I'm in a Walenta's car. Then I'm in a goddamn Evel Knievel car. Then I'm jumping the Grand Canyon. Then I'm reaching Mach 1. Then I'm reaching Mach 3. Then I'm reaching Mach 5. Then I'm reaching light speed, okay? We're still in the, lifting the head up. But what I want is to give you guys more content. What I want is to find a place where I'm just flooding the motherfucking marketplace with content. And we're going to get there. Ooh, they're saying Daylight Cook, Joey Badass. Bring that up in a second, because I want to talk about that. I will talk about that. So we're going to start this Reddit page, and we're going to get information from the Reddit page and film up bonus videos that we're going to put out earlier in the week, because I don't think it's fair that I'm waiting until, Wednesday to give you something. I want to flood the streets. I don't want to starve the streets. I don't think it's fair that I'm waiting to give you a fat video on Thursday all the time. I don't think it's fair that I'm giving you bonus content on Friday. What about Monday and Tuesday? You know, don't Monday and Tuesday need a little bit of love too? So bang, giving you a Reddit video on Tuesday. Bang, later on today I'm going to be doing a live stream with Large, going out into the city. What we're going to be starting is the little versus little. We're going to be going to 2 littles in the city. I have the backpack from Donnie right there. It's in a goddamn box behind Ebony's desk right over there. And we are going to put on the backpack and go to Koreatown, and we're going to go to Chinatown, and we're going to see which one is more fun. We're going to compare the two on several different rubrics. So if there's anything that you want to suggest that we see in Chinatown, suggest we see in Koreatown, we're going to be bopping around. We're going to be trying foods. We're going to be having drinks. We're going to be trying cultural delicacies and talking to locals. Well, one thing we're not going to be doing is going to any fucking bookstores. Every time I look up what to do in Koreatown, they're like, go to a bookstore. What the fuck am I going to do with a Korean book? Put it on the shelf and pretend to be smart? I know I'm fucking dumb. I'm not going to go to a fucking bookstore, but I am going to go to Koreatown. I am going to go to Chinatown. And we are going to make that a live stream today, and then after that live stream, we're going to make that a shortened video where we compare the two, and that will be out tomorrow. Further information that we have, I am also trying to get a yoga instructor in here tomorrow, and it is proving to be difficult. I've put out several asks for yoga instructors, and the timing keeps on not lining up. I have basically Pick Central doing yoga tomorrow. I got Meek Phil on the fucking mat, chaturanga, vinyasana type shit. And I'm going to have them doing downward dogs, and I'm going to have a yoga instructor in here doing that with them. I got Clemmer doing it. I got damn Marty Mush. I don't have Rico Bosco. Rico's not here. He was one of the reasons I wanted to do this, but he's out in Chicago doing God knows what. Doing God knows what he's doing in Chicago the entire week. So if you have a yoga instructor for me tomorrow, I don't want to have to spend $1,500 from the yoga instructor, basically call service, where they're like, yeah, well, we could do yoga for up to 100 people. What if it's 6 people that weigh the same as 100 people? What if it's some big boys doing yoga? Is that okay? Or are you still going to bang me for the $1,500 to do yoga? How about we just do it for a little cross-promotion love of the game? Does that something people still do? Or do I have to out of pocket for everything? Yoga instructor, please put out the APB to all the yoga instructors in your life, okay? Hot yoga, cold yoga, core power yoga, cool sculpting yoga, any of that yoga. I need to have some of my boys limber in here. I want mobility for my boys. These boys are sitting in these damn chairs too long, chatting about sports. They're going to get tight hip flexors and fucking lumbar issues. And that's not what I want from my boys. Please, someone send me a yoga instructor. Yoga with Ari. And is it greedy that it's not a dude? Maybe that's greedy. But you know what I mean? I want to prove that women can do yoga too, because I feel like too many people are acting like women don't like yoga. And I want to be a voice for the voiceless. I want women to know that they can do yoga as well. So that's a thing that I'm going to do tomorrow. That's a thing that I'm going to do around 1 o'clock tomorrow. If you have a yoga instructor, please. I'm so fucking available. I'm so available for you to reach out to me. The other thing that I'm going to be doing later on today, that I'm going to be making a video. So that yoga video will be coming out probably Monday or some shit next week or something like that. The other thing that I want to be doing, that I also put out an APB about, All Points Bulletin, All Business Pete reversed, is I want to do a video where I'm making theme songs for other Barstool shows. I'm going to make a series where I'm making theme songs for other Barstool shows. Definitely doing one for Donnie's show, What's for Lunch. 100% doing one for Donnie's show, What's for Lunch. I need you guys to reach out and let me know what other shows, let's do it in the chat right now. What other shows should I work on, and what should be the style of the shows? Because What's for Lunch, automatic. Make one for Kate. So what are we called? What is that show officially called? What's Kate's show officially called? Kate until Mincy? Kate until mostly? Come. Until mostly. I think that's fair. Okay, what should the, like what genre of music should it be, though? Kate until mostly? Kate until mostly? You gotta try this? You gotta try this would be fire. You gotta try this would be fire. Kate until, you gotta try this, writing that down. Blutman Watches Ball is my favorite unofficial show. Okay. We got other stuff working for that. I can give you that right now. Me and PFT working on something else for that right now. That's already in the works. That's side job. That's side quest. That's like what Ed Sheeran's doing. Like he's always on a little side quest. That's me. I'm Ed Sheeran, actually. Kate until Mincy, but 90s Diddy style. Okay, that's interesting. Full House vibe. That's interesting too. Let me write this down. 90s Diddy, Full House, reggae, intro songs, hell yeah. 50s TV show intro, 50s TV show. So I feel like, yeah, Kate does do that. Like, I feel like her show with Brandon Walker was like a parody of the kind of classic wake up type of thing. 50s TV show. I'm trying to think what even that is. Bill Cosby party. A new intro could say, okay. I'm gonna say that. 50s TV show intro. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, while we're there, can you guys shout out to J Gang? J Gang, I wish I could give you the $5 that our friend gave us earlier. Because like the stream, bro. It is so helpful to me to just like the stream. Like the stream. You have to like the stream. Subscribe. It means so much. I swear to God, I'm trying to fucking flood the market. I swear to God, I'm trying to give you interesting and suspenseful content. Please like the stream. Please fire it up. Like the fucking stream. Subscribe. Comment on the YouTube videos. We need it all. So I was going to do a theme song. A lot of people, I think even Tate was like, do a theme song for After Dark. And then Lucas was like, no. Lucas just said no. And I'm trying to figure out, Lucas, do we have a fucking problem? Lucas, do me and you have a problem? Because we could settle it. You know, we could do one of those things where people lay down on the ground, lock their legs together, and see who pushes each other forward. We could settle it lots of different ways, okay? We could settle it fucking slalom skiing, downhill skiing, alpine skiing. We could do any of those. Cocaine, any of those, okay? We could settle it any way you want. We could settle it taking orders at Red Lobster or, you know, wherever you work. Where did he work before? Nobu or Red Lobster? I'm not even sure. Do we have a problem, Lucas, or was it something else? Am I misreading the situation? I don't want to have the diss track, Lucas. He's too thin. He reminds me of that statue that couldn't get sold. I don't want to have to do that. But explain it. Someone explain it. Why did you say no? Is it smoke that he wants? Because drink it in, bro. I got all the smoke. It's like a mezcal, okay? Lucas, if that's what you want, bro, PF Chang's. What is it, Lucas? Explain it to me, because I don't know. Bella Garcia, shout out to Bella. I do yoga. I will red eye if needed to be, my friend. I'm not an instructor, but advanced, and I'll get everyone in flowing and blowing all day, bro. Why is Bella the fucking GOAT? Kevin's on notice. Kevin Singh is on notice right now, the way Bella is throwing around cash. She got it. She rich. Okay, Bella. Get that then. Big ballin'. I fucking love that. I love that. I'm not going to make you take a red eye. I'm not going to take it. But even, hey, Bella on the red eye would be, Bella, where are you coming from? We're not going to do it, but I'm just curious. Because Queen Bella, you know what I mean? We're going to have Simps in the chat being like, hey, Bella of the ball. Shout out to that with the OF, capital OF, but it's not OnlyFans. You know what I mean? That yoga money's crazy for Bella Garcia. It's nice. Bella. Interesting. San Antonio. San Antonio. I've heard lovely things. I saw that cops are harassing buskers on the Riverwalk, though. Don't like that. Especially because First Amendment, freedom to gather. You know what I mean? Freedom to sing your songs out in public. She has to answer only in $4.99. Who's Tank 28 putting the $4.99 sign after the fact? That makes me think you're in a different country. I don't even know. But shout out to Bella Garcia. And shout out to Francis. I would love to have Francis in here to, just pay you your respects, Bella. In the same way that you're paying your respects to us, I'd love to have Francis also paying those respects. So, Kate until Mosley needs one. What's for lunch? Needs one. Rone, come out and say, I haven't been to Savannah, Georgia. I would love that. I would love to go down to Savannah. And then I'll figure, I guess if you guys don't have other ones, I'll figure some shit out. Maybe I want to do some bossa nova type shit, or maybe like, maybe something like this. Don't worry, this is, oh God. Kevin Singh coming over the top. Oh shit. We've awakened the beast. Kevin Singh, he said $4.99 plus $4.99, that's $9.98. I'm coming with $10, and that's my 2 cents. Bro, I'm not a yoga instructor. I don't have any services to offer on this one, unfortunately. I just think I just wanted to put respect on your name that King of the Hill, Big Dog, Kevin Singh is the one to beat. He's always throwing around cash in here, and I think that if people are trying to put a little hedge fund together, get a little class action going together to see if they could beat Kevin, I think that that's interesting. But I think that my man has deep pockets. I think my man is sitting on a Scrooge McDuck. If he has a $10, if he has a bacon, egg, and cheese and a cold brew before the tip to throw at me, I know that Kevin isn't one you want to play with cash-wise, because Big Baller Kevin does not play. Jair says, you're not getting a dime from me. I'm not trying to get money. I don't even get them. I don't even know where it goes. It's probably going into a slush fund for a live event. Lisa would be my guess. Mocked up with Ray. Needs a touch of Rone. Shout out to Ray. 100%. See that plantation that burned down? Yeah, I did see that. I wonder if that was arson. I wonder if it was the same people that burnt down, or that tried to burn down the dude Shapiro, the anti-Semitic people that tried to burn down, the governor of Pennsylvania's house? I wonder if that was the same folks. I wonder if it's anti-Semitic people who are also pro-anti-slavery who are burning down that plantation. Don't have a lot to say on it. Seemed like nice architecture with horrific stories that happened there. Maybe not great to celebrate, but what else are you going to build on it? Cool. Kevin and I got a beer in Chicago after Mook's show. Wish you were there, Rone. Would have been sick. Gally would have been sick. We would have all been drinking beers. Or, what you can do, though, is tune into me and Large's stream later on in the day. That's what you can do. And we'll have a drink. And then you could kind of we'll cheers the camera type. And you also can have a drink with us. And it'll kind of be this communal thing where we're all freaking laughing and crying at some point because we've unearthed some deep trauma from hanging out with each other so hard. I was pulling up this beat that I wanted to use. Don't worry, this is not going to get us sued. Someone sent me this. Who is this for? Who is this for? What? Whose theme song is this? Is it I feel like I'm in Saint-Tropez. I feel like I'm on a yacht in Montserrat. That's the ambiance. Oh my God. Elevator. Bro, this is out and about. It could be Drop a Pin. You know what I mean? This could be Drop a Pin. We have Donnie coming on later. Maybe I play this for him. Maybe I play that for him. That's Drop a Pin music, bro. That could be drop a pin, send your location, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Taylor Watch, is that for Taylor Watch? Maybe that's for Drop a Pin, bro. I gotta write that down. That has me feeling good. But like, well, how do you even sing over that? You know what I mean? It is drop a pin on repeat with the beat. Like that is, bro. That's fucking drop a pin right there. That's the beat right there for drop a pin. And I hate to give it away, but I love for it to happen for drop a pin, because every time I listen to those, bro, it's so interesting. Love to listen to content about travel. I'm a little bit landlocked right now with these babies, and so all I'm doing is watching travel content, listening to travel content, and I feel like I'm there. And then I suddenly put on a fucking song like that. I put on this, and I feel like I'm traveling. On that. I put on that shit. That's nice, dude. And that brings me to the fact that Donnie is coming onto this show. COMING, not KUM, not Kate until mostly, but coming onto the show to give his top 5 worst people to go abroad with in Barstool, and his top 10 best people. So shout out to fucking Donnie. Ben Stevens says he wrote that. Do you ever watch the Points Guys videos? I do, but like, I'm not interested like maximizing travel and like getting like Hilton honors deals isn't the kind of travel content I like. I like to see people going to interesting places and like live streaming and walking around. Like, that's kind of what is inspiring me to do this stuff with Large. I just want to be live streaming and walking around. I think there's so much juicy shit to see. I think that if you look at the New Orleans video, I had such a good time doing that. I got a nice response from that, but it's just, it's such a gratifying feeling to just be in a neighborhood that you've never been in before, especially one that has such rich cultural undertones like the ones that we're going to be going to. So I long to do more content like that. The nicest is in the works. Should I say one of the fucking matchups I have? The paperwork isn't signed, but they both agreed. Should I drop one? Why not, bro? Because if it falls through, I mean, these bros both agreed to it, and they both agreed to a date this summer. New Jersey twerk against T-Top in the nicest. Bro, if you guys know battle rap, the fact that we have New Jersey twerk going up against T-Top, okay, pen isn't to paper. This is a verbal agreement. Pen isn't to paper. But, I mean, I've been trying to get this matchup for a year and a half, and these bros both agreed to a date. New Jersey twerk against T-Top in the nicest. If you know battle rap, these are two of the best people of all time. These are two of the best people right now. These are two fucking geniuses at this, and they're like, we want to do the nicest. We want to do compliment rap battles. We're willing, because I have a budget, but my budget is not explosive. I'm limited within my budget. So they're willing to take less than they normally would to participate in this, which speaks to their characters. These are fucking awesome bros. T-Top and New Jersey twerk, verbal agreements to the nicest. So fucking fire, bro. So fucking fire. The fact that so many people within the battle rap world are willing to do this, that they see the potential of it, that they see that it's a zag from the zig of battle rap where you're being so mean, all the nasty things you've ever thought of are all kind of exhausted because you're 1,000 battle raps into your career, and then you just have to say one nice thing. The first nice thing that comes to your mind. The whole fucking gamut of nice words are open to you, and you can use them all, and we have a fucking banger. A banger. New Jersey twerk against T-Top, two of the top 10 in the world right now, two of the top 5 in the world right now. Just it's headline shit, bro. Those are you build a card around shit like that, and it's going to be other bangers. I'm working hard to make other shit work, working hard to make it all happen. And while we're on battle rap, someone asked a second ago about Joey Badass against Daylight. Joey Badass dissing Daylight, and then Daylight came back at him. And Daylight's my bro. Of course, Daylight's bro. I think that Joey Badass sounds better on a track than Daylight. I'll keep it a buck. This isn't a show for me to pussyfoot around and fucking dink and dunk and bullshit. This is a show for me to tell the truth. I let Spider get away with dinking and dunking and bullshitting, people pleasing and appeasing last week by giving Dave the #1 emotional intelligence at Barstool. A sycophant move by him. I shouldn't have even let him get away with it. So I'll not fall for the same trap. Even though Daylight's my bro, I think that Joey Badass sounds better on the beat. Joey Badass's setup and word selection I was enjoying better. Obviously, Daylight's going to have punchlines. He's built as a battle rapper. But when he's using setups like, I doubt, Mark, like, that is an unnatural phrasing, unnatural sentence. To me, it's lazy. I know Daylight can do better for a setup to South Park to be like something. I doubt, Mark, you're not going to say like that. That's clunky to me. That word selection and language is clunky to me. She has to flow smoothly, and I'm giving it to Joey Badass. Sad to say. They said Rone hates Dave. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. This week was my wife's birthday. And I was like, Dave, texting him on the side. I was like, I know you had to plug at Teresi. Plug me in at Teresi. And he was like, yeah, no problem. I got you. Hit him up the week of. And he's like, Teresi is like, they're asking for some like minimum or whatever. Let me put you in at Carbone. And he said, I actually think, he said, I think Teresi's it was a better experience for what Carbone is a better experience for what I like, and I think that you'll enjoy it immensely as well. And so he plugged me in at Carbone and sat me and my wife down for dinner, and they're bringing out extra dishes, extra courses, extra everything. They rolled out the fucking red carpet. Dave looked out so fucking hard. Not just what we ordered, but everything else. At the end of the dinner, they find out it's her birthday. They're bringing out fucking bowls of oranges, full punch bowls full of mixed nuts, grapes on ice, above and beyond, desserts after desserts, food that we couldn't even comprehend, painfully stuffed. I find out at the end of the meal, Dave took care of it all. They took care of it all. Took care of every cent of it. Dave is the fucking man. People see so much about Dave, whatever, but I think that even looking into Shannon Sharp saying he shares in his wealth with his ex-wife, that she still has access to his funds, a little bit opened people's eyes to the fact that he is actually the man. I was like, let me tip, you know what I mean? Let me tip extra. Charge me for like $1. Because all I had like $80 cash and 180 euro. I'm not going to be like, here's $80. And I was like, charge me $1, I'll tip. He's like, no, that's been taken care of as well. Everything has been taken care of. The fucking tip, the fucking meal, above and beyond, for no reason. Didn't have to do that. Could have just got, the reservation was enough, just plugging me in at the time and place that I wanted. Dave, bro. Say it so for people to be so misinformed, be like, oh, I hate Dave. You're fucking wrong about that. Dave is very nice and super loyal, and in turn I'm loyal to him. And I think that people have a weird, he's incendiary online. And so people have a parasocial relationship with Dave where they assume that they know him because of what they see about him online. And I have a real relationship with Dave where he does stuff like that, and I get to share a story like that. So I can kind of, show you a different side of him. So I think that people don't necessarily have to assume that he's the worst just because they disagree with whatever his takes on Caitlin Clark or his political takes or whatever. So WNBA trying to ban him, no. That's not happening. Shout out to Mrs. Peaches. Did she get married? Joey said, met you outside of the OD in 2012 when I was in 8th grade with one of my buddies. You sat with us on the bench and drunkenly talked to us for about an hour. I will never forget it. Much love, Rone. Is that a good thing? Is that a mark in my favor? I was like 23 years, whatever, 23 years old. And I'm outside the OD talking to a 14-year-old on a bench for an hour. I guess it's cool. I don't know. What was the nature of our conversation, Joey? I think that we might have more color that we can give that story and really determine if I belong in the Eminem and Diddy conversation or if I'm just a super nice guy. I guess, yeah, so the OD is a bar in Sea Isle, New Jersey. Jason Kelsey's always wearing that green Ocean Drive shirt, and I used to live across the street above it for a summer and would spend a lot of summers going to the OD, spend a lot of summers in Sea Isle. I was a delivery driver for a place called Amici's for a few summers, and that was like basically right across the street from the OD, just in the mix. And I would make my little money delivery driving, take it right across the street to the OD, spend that money, get drunk as possible, and then find some people who are about to graduate 8th grade and spend a little bit of time on a bench talking to them. Shout out to that, bro. Least I could do. And shout out to my wife. Obviously, it was her birthday this past week, and so shout out to her. Fun story about that. Rone, do you remember a guy that smoked the L with you in Chapel Hill after UNC lost the Natty? We watched street ball in Franklin Street while blazing. I do remember that. Down in they had the bus pulled up and there was a basketball hoop on the back. People were I don't remember smoking the L. But I definitely wasn't taking one. Okay. But that was fun. I remember that, except for they lost. That was tough. But that was fun being outside. And Chapel Hill is a beautiful town. Lovely, transcendent town. But once again, shout out to my wife on her birthday. So I was shopping for her. For a birthday present last Wednesday, a very rainy day, not unlike today. And I'm out front. I went down to like Soho area, and I went to a store called Miu Miu. You guys familiar with Miu Miu? Top designer, Miu Miu. Very, plugged in designer. And I was the same clothes I wore for RoneDotCom that day. Shitty, stupid outfit. I'm not fashionable, much less am I fashionable enough to be wearing cool clothes, to be going into goddamn Miu Miu, to be going to Miu Miu, where everything is fucking expensive. And so when you get to Miu Miu, they make you stand in a line outside of Miu Miu, and nobody else is shopping that day. 2 Asian ladies in front of me, as soon as I got there, they got to go in. So I'm standing alone in a line behind red rope, just getting rained on, getting poured on, just being like, what the fuck am I doing? Feeling shitty about my outfit, feeling imposter syndrome. I'm not supposed to be wearing this shit in this area, going to this nice ass store, self-conscious, looking around. Everybody's dressed nice. Everybody has something cool on. Teddy's a horror's about to walk up to someone and be like, what do you do for a living? And I'm self-conscious, sitting there getting rained on, looking for someone who's even dressed remotely the same as me. See 2 bros walking down the street, and I'm like, damn, I guess they're almost, kind of same silhouette, sweatshirt, one of them's wearing the yellow jacket, regular size pants, nothing too fucking massive, regular size pants. Other guys wearing sunglasses, they're walking towards me in the line. Get closer, I reckon my facial recognition goes off a little bit. 2-factor authentication, facial recognition goes off. That's fucking Jack Harlow walking right towards me right now. And I'm like, what's up, legend? And Jack Harlow's like, what's up, legend? Reciprocates. Daps. And I'm like, bro, what's going on? Good to see you. He's like, good to see you too, Rone. He looks to his brother and he's like, how do I explain who this guy is? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like garden variety white guy. And he's like, to his brother, who's the guy in the yellow coat, he's like, I grew up watching this dude's rap battles. I grew up watching all this dude's shit. My heart's fucking warming, okay? Suddenly, I don't realize it's raining on me. Feeling just incredible. He's like, I grew up watching this guy. Fucking watched all of his shit. And a couple years ago, he reached out and said the same thing to me on the internet. He even called me. And I hope this isn't speaking out of turn, but he was like, dude, you were an inspiration to me early on as far as like the style and sense of humor of the rap. And this is the first time. And he was like, have we ever even met in person? I was like, no, never even met in person. Because one time he came to the Barstool offices and I wasn't here. And dude, nobody wanted to do stuff with him at the Barstool offices. Everybody's like, who? Jack, who? They didn't know. But I knew who he was because since the fucking, like, early shit where he was, like, rapping on the hood of a car, like my boy Wickstead, who actually made that fucking sick beat. Me and him share rappers, and he sent this bro to me. And I was like, bro, he is, like, so technically proficient, has his own swag, so cool, has such a unique sense of humor that we kind of watched blossom throughout the years. He's, like, the type of guy that'd be so easy to root for. I've been so aware of him. So like when he even reached out like that and just to see him ascend has been so cool. And he was just talking to his brother being like, yeah, bro, he has a show with Pat Beverly. And he was just being so nice and so gracious with his time that I was just like, whatever, just having a very light conversation. Just what are you guys doing today? And it just absolutely made my day. He was just the most down-to-earth, the nicest dude ever. Like, I think the only person that did shit with him was, like, Mantis at the time. I don't even think that he was going to go on Caleb's show. Like, it was the one where, like, Caleb, like, had a fact a day or something like that, but it didn't work out that day, or it just didn't line up at the time when he was kind of ascending. And now he's in a place where he's so fucking doing tricks on it. 100% I'm doing tricks on it. He's the fucking man. Or are they saying he was doing tricks? Well, regardless. Just the nicest guy. And then as he was leaving, I was like, bro, your success is like, so whatever. I glazed him a little bit. Just gave him just the lightest, just the tip. You know what I mean? Just a very light glazing, and he skedaddled. But he stopped, just like busted it up for me for 3 minutes, like talked to his brother for a little bit, and they were just so nice and gracious. And it just fucking, when the people that you're fans of become easy to root for, it feels like you are like correct. It feels like you know what you're doing. And then popped into Mew Mew. They treated me like I was absolute dirt. Didn't even want to talk to me and whatever. Dropped the bag in there for the wife. You know what I mean? Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm going to spend money on my wife because she's the man. So shout out to him. Dub Jack Harlow. Dub Dave. You know what I mean? They're looking out. Dubs to Tommy Smokes and Frank for doing the driving test last week. Dubs to Meek Phil too. Meek Phil is back in my good graces. He said that he would do yoga after refusing to do driving, after being, questioned under the microscope for sure. The interrogation light was on Meek Phil. I was like, who are you? Are you bigger than... What are your aspirations? You know what I mean? Is it to just go past everybody and leave everybody in the dust, put cigarettes out on people's foreheads as they grasp up at you as you pass them, as you climb the social ladder? No, that's not his case. Meek Phil back in the good graces. They said Meek Phil versus Clemmer at R&R win. Okay, I don't agree with that. I don't care about seeing them fight. I do care about Meek Phil versus Clemmer in the macro sense. I think that there's meat on that bone. Meek Phil against Clemmer. What do they do with one another? I just saw Clemmer walking in. I thought that it was a sentient lacrosse stick, bro. I thought that it was just a floating pogo stick that walked in. But sure enough, it was Chris Clemmer. What can they do against one another? Is it stake off type? You know what I mean? What is their crossing point? Because watching them argue with one another over basketball, I didn't know who I disliked more. You know? I didn't know who I was rooting against more. And I think it was Meek Phil in that circumstance. I watch the Knicks and I say, ooh, these guys are easy to root for. I want the Knicks to win. And then I'll go over and I'll turn on the gambling stream. I'll see Meek Phil celebrating and I'll say, ooh, I wish the worst for the Knicks. He's I wouldn't say the worst representation, but the way that he cheers is so grating. And those are two brother Mets fans, and the fact that they're separated, they're usually on the same side of the troll, and then they're going head to head, it makes you realize that there's something explosive to that. Bella Garcia, oh my God, she got money. She got plenty money. She got plenty money. She got plenty money. Kevin thinks she's still at the top of the chat. LOL. That's cute. My first live chat, but I'm all in. Whatever you need, Rone, I got you. Go Spurs, and happy B-Day to your wife. Yeah. Shout out to Bella. I didn't know you had it like that. And I like that she puts the 99 as if she's like tricking people into thinking it's less money when it really is the full $10. That's the old trick they pull at the gas pumps and at McDonald's. Hey, shout out to Bella. I'm not saying nothing about Kevin. I'm just saying that Bella has got it like that. Okay? Bella, whatever you, and I don't even need it. Bella, I'm not asking for it. I'm not saying what she's saying whatever you need. I don't need it. I appreciate it. Go Spurs. Who are we thinking? Dylan Harper? The Spurs are going to be dangerous. I'll do some Spurs talk. If we're talking Wemby, if we're talking Sochan, if we're talking about Keldon Johnson, if we're talking about Devin Vassell, if we're talking about Chris Paul, if we're talking about De'Aaron Fox, if we're talking about Devin Vassell. I want Stephen Castle and Devin Vassell. I want those to rhyme. The rapper in me does, but they don't. That's a deep-ass squad. You add Ace Bailey to that? That's incredible. If you add Harper to that, that's incredible. Those are two value adds. Like, those are already well-rounded starting lineups. You add those to the Spurs, fucking dangerous, bro. Shout out to the Spurs. Bella. We're putting the W's in Bella Garcia. Bella. Wemby has... No, come on, bro. Don't say that. Ace Bailey with that. Ace Bailey, polarizing. I'm digging in right now on my NBA draft prospects. Crunching tape, crunching numbers. Zach Collins, glue guy. Spurs trading that pick? We think so? We think? For who? Giannis? But like with what? With Castle? I mean, it'd be a good package. It would be a good package. But like, that's so are you going to have Giannis and Fox? And I like them building how they're building. I like how they're building. Look at the Thunder. Like, the Thunder, like, not superstar hunting, like, trying to mortgage the future to give. And didn't the Bucks GM say that he's trying to bend over whoever he's making a trade with for Giannis, if that's going to be the case? Why get bent over? Why not just build the natural way? You're going to hit on some. You're going to miss on some. They got young players. They got it all. Thunder up. Okay. RIP to Trill and Coley at Underdog. Saw that. That sucks. Bring Whiskers back to the stool. I would love that. Those are my two bros. I was messaging with Coley Mick yesterday. Not even about that news. And not even and I saw a dead bird and a dead squirrel yesterday, and I didn't put them in the dead bird group chat that I have with Coley and Marty Mush and Trill and some of my friends from home and some people I don't know. I didn't put the dead birds or the dead squirrel in that group chat because I saw that the underdog thing didn't work out, and I didn't want to be adding sorrow to their lives. I didn't want to be adding a layer of negativity. I let the dead bird group chat go for a day. So condolences for those guys. If you want to come back, come back, be on RoneDotCom, Maybe I should just have them on RoneDotCom on some bro shit. But I saw Trill in Vegas at Summer League this past summer. I saw him in Summer League at a casino, just walking the floor with all the NBA players, the Thompson twins and Ricky Council Jr. and all the podcasters. Everybody's there. We're all there together just chopping it up with Trill, bro. That guy is talented and fucking hilarious and maybe the best person at Twitter of all time. Like, he is him and like Drill. Like, who are the best people at Twitter of all time? He easily could be in that conversation. So we want both of them over there. Coley Code Switch Mick? No. That's not true at all. Coley talks the same to everybody. Coley had a generational crash out when the Celtics lost. Yeah, that's what sports fans are supposed to do. Like, do you follow sports fans because, like, you want them to have a milquetoast, like, average reaction when their team loses? Do you want it to be proven that they don't actually give a fuck, that they've been performing to care and only caring when their team wins? Or, like, do you want them to be crashing out? I want them to give a fuck. I want them to be depressed. I want them to flip shit. That's why Frank the Tank is great, relatable, and interesting. I want them to be fucking living on the edge. Yeah, if he crashed out, good. That shows you the level of authenticity that he has. If people spaz when their team doesn't do well, if they lash out and crash out, that's fucking good and a sign of authenticity. And I don't know what people are following folks for online other than that. Like, I don't know what you're following a sports fan for if not for authenticity. Like, he's not breaking news to you. I don't think Coley's breaking down film. I think you want to share in the camaraderie of your fandom. Tyler, didn't you get in with Coley early on? Kyler's under the Coley coaching tree too. Was it like a Juice shirt or some shit like that? Was that one of your early designs, or what was it? What was that? I know Tyler was plugged in. Imagine not caring about your team, right?
So it was just like their YouTube, and then when Coley or Chua left, I did his Patreon, like merch and stuff.
Tyler's so fucking plugged in. Tyler fucking hard ass worker, bro. Legend. Still not okay. Kevin's still not okay after Tatum's Achilles popped and the Celtics got whooped. Yeah, it's tough. Bella, I was at 2014 finals when the Spurs won with TD, Manu, TP, Patty Mills. It was the best, and it's been too long. Feels like a drug you tried once. Well, the Spurs tried that drug several times, but I know what you're saying. Bro, I watched the end of the 1999 finals when it was the Knicks against the Spurs, Tim Duncan's first one, and that was some of the worst basketball I've ever seen played those last 2 minutes. It was the most high stakes, and people are throwing basketballs at the backboard like an overweight comedian doing the yak challenge. It was embarrassing, and these are like Hall of Fame players. And at the most, it wasn't like I cherry-picked shitty parts of their careers. Some of the ugliest highlights I've ever seen are from the last 2 minutes of the 1999 NBA Finals, and it really makes you, it's shocking how much the game has progressed in the last 25, 26 years. It was fucking nasty. I've been yapping, running my goddamn mouth. I was like, I'm not gonna have enough show, bro. I have too much shit to talk about. Shout out to Bella, shout out to Kevin. Just both of them being in the chat simultaneously is like that's nice. You know what I mean? It's that rule of like you surround yourself. The top 5 people you surround yourself with is gonna be, you know, who forms you as a person. The fact I know that I got money by me. The fact I know that I have big steppers, high spenders around me makes me feel good about that. Fire the fuck off for them. Shout out to them. It's the 10 o'clock hour, so that means that we are about to kick into the fucking 10 at 10. Shout out to the 1600 in the fucking chat, too. Give it up for yourselves, you know what I mean? Fire off for that. Maybe take some money out of your right pocket, put it in your left pocket. You know, pay yourself. Maybe get a good-ass lunch today. You know, maybe that's the move. Maybe you get a good-ass lunch. Maybe you get something from Game Time. Maybe that's the move. Maybe you buy something off of Game Time because, like we were just talking about, NBA playoffs are here, and you're watching a better product now than you were back in the day. And if you want to go across the street to Madison Square Garden, if you want to go out to whatever field house they have in Indiana, go watch some Go watch some playoffs. Go watch the Western Conference Finals in Minnesota or OKC. Go watch the Eastern Conference Finals in New York and in Indiana. And make sure you're doing it through Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You can get hard-to-get playoff tickets through Game Time. And it's crazy because the prices actually go down right before the game. So that's the best time. You can literally be standing in line at MSG. Good-ding. Buy your tickets on Game Time, and then suddenly you're in the game. So quick, so easy to download. Click on All In Pricing. They're going to tell you exactly how much it costs. Click on Game Time Picks. They're selecting the best stuff for you. Maybe I'll go over to the Knicks game. I was looking at the All In. It's not as crazy as you think. Less than $1,000 to even get into the building, and you're witnessing history. Let's not forget that. Going to see Louis C.K. in August because of Game Time. Shout out to Megalodon. because of Game Time. I told you I'm going to Lil Wayne on the 6th because of Game Time. You know, bring back Content Kim because of Game Time. Why not? Why? She should adopt someone in the office. Take them to a game. Do it through Game Time. Have a good-ass time. You know what I mean? That would be interesting to me. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code RoneDotCom for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code RoneDotCom for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. What time is it? It's game time. He said content MILF. What the heck? Come on, guys. Let's get to our guest, the Wonton Don. Donnie does. You know him from his travels to China. You know him from his globe-trotting ways. You know him from his raps with his ducks, but he's never ducking any raps, I'll tell you that much for a fact. You know him from dropping a pin and dropping cash on travel around the world, and even dropping a baby into the population to directly fight against what Elon Musk is calling the collapse of times. Not because of guys like me, not because of guys like Donnie, not because of guys who care about the world around them and the content that they make. One of my favorite creators, not just at Barstool, but on the internet, the Wonton Don. Welcome to the show, Beast.
Hey, how are you? One hell of an intro. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You look great. You sound great, brother. What fabric is that shirt, bro? That's nice. Is that ribbed on the shoulders?
It is ribbed. It's got shoulder ribs.
For whose pleasure?
I don't know. I've never tried pleasing a girl with my shoulder, but I should definitely try that.
It looks good, bro. What's going on? Are those French doors behind you too? I didn't know you had it like that.
Yes, this is the guest room in my Chicago chateau.
Very nice, my friend.
Look at that. We got a nice, I think that's a seascape behind me.
Yeah, it feels like I'm at the beach. That's absolutely lovely. That's beautiful. If I'm not mistaken, you just got back from Mexico City. First trip since you've had your beautiful son. So first, let me ask about fatherhood, and then take me to Mexico City.
All right, fatherhood has been going well. I would say it gets even more fun after 2 months. Because that's when the baby starts to smile. You get a little more back from them. But so far, it's been great. I mean, the past month, he's surprisingly been sleeping wonderfully, which was a shock. Like, we'll get him down from some nights, it's like 8:30 to 5 a.m., which is like what more can you ask for? But
amazing.
No, it's obviously it's a change of pace, and I'm sure you've realized that too. And you've got a kid times 2, which has to be wild. I don't know. Yeah. I can't even imagine that. But I've loved it. And I think it's like having a kid was the only thing that was going to slow me down. I know there's a lot of people that like when they turn 25, they're like, oh dude, I'm washed. Like I can't be going out to like the bars anymore. But for me, like I was 35 at like a Nicky Smokes pregame, just being like, yeah, this is completely normal.
Yeah. I hate when people have that mindset that they're like, I'm washed. People be like 22 and be like, I'm fucking washed now. That is completely like you're a prisoner of your own mind and the people and circumstances you surround yourself with. Like I don't really accept that. I think that having a kid is a very worthy thing to slow you down though. And I think shout out to your wife too, because it seems like she's crushing it. I see the contrast cards and everything.
Yeah, that's like I'm learning new things about kids every day. I mean, I was shocked that they don't really get full eyesight until 6 months maybe. So like right now, your twins, when they see you, you're kind of just like a little blob or a blur. And I think it's around the 3-month mark when they start to see you better. That's when they start to smile more and they can interact with you more and stuff.
Yeah.
They're kind of just seeing black and white and
yeah, I saw that post that
really
you posted, like kind of a sequential order of what it looks like throughout their first up to 6 months, and it kind of comes into focus like you're at the eye doctor, but it's and they're seeing red and green are the first colors that they're kind of seeing as the cones kind of overlap into place. I mean, their eyes aren't, it's like hard to focus. I was like, Doc, is something wrong? They're like, no, that's completely normal. And their eyes are like locked in now. But I was like, am I getting mincies? You know what I mean? But they're seeing, they're looking ahead, you know, they're looking forward. They're locked in fully, which I mean, I would have loved them the same regardless, but it was just funny to see the little things, just like you're saying, that I just really had no idea about. And it's a little bit scary because I'm like, am I doing enough? Am I doing the correct things? But it seems like you are. It seems like you're going to raise just an awesome kid. They're really lucky to have you guys as parents.
Yeah. Did you have anybody warn you about the cone heads when they first come out of the womb?
I had people being like, well, Pat Bev was like, when I had my kid, they came out white. And then I had people being like, they're gonna look like alien, they're gonna look like this. So I was almost like expecting, not the worst, but I was expecting explosive things. And sure enough, got explosive things. Can you explain what the cone head things are, though?
Yeah, just when the head is being pushed out of the vagina.
For lack of a better word.
No, I think, yeah, they get pushed out the cervix, right? I still got to work on my female anatomy.
My wife had a C-section, so
okay,
they got pushed out
okay, yeah.
Wound.
When they get pushed out, the heads are very malleable, so they'll kind of have an elongated cone head that looks a little bit like a xenomorph almost from the Alien franchise.
Right.
And then they'll come out pretty purple too. So my brother thankfully warned me about that, because if not, like, your first glimpse of the baby, just seeing his head, you're like, I don't even know if this thing's human. But don't worry, the head shape goes back to normal after a few weeks.
I think that people just have to come to grips with that baby isn't going to stay looking like that, no matter what they look like. And it could be, there's some babies that are so cute when they're born, and then they like don't grow into their cuteness, you know? And then there's some babies that look like xenomorphs, or look like oblong shaped things, or change colors, change face shapes, change eyes. Your baby's just not going to look like that. So I think you enjoy it while they're tiny, but also you got to know that it's going to be a changing landscape in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? So congratulations on that for sure. Tell me about Mexico City, because the fact that you were able to travel also inspires me. And how'd that trip get set up? And it seemed like you went to a bar that is like on my bucket list.
Yeah, so Mexico City, I think, has 9 of the top 50 bars in the entire North America.
Whew.
Surprisingly. Yeah, it's like they're going through a cocktail renaissance or something. But I went down there because NASCAR has a race in Mexico City June 15th. And so I was only down there. It was a quick trip. You know, now that I have a kid, I'm trying to plan things out a little bit more. So normally I'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to go and hang out in Mexico City for a full week. But this trip was just fly down there for 2 days, fly back. And we kind of filmed a little tourism video almost about things people can do in Mexico City when they're down there for the NASCAR race June 15th. And I'll be going back down for the NASCAR race too, which I'm pumped about.
Our chat's asking for restaurant recommendations down there. You have one or two?
They have like some Michelin star restaurants that like I looked up the most famous one and I couldn't get a reservation for like another month and a half. So I was just kind of popping into random taco stands, quesadilla stands. You know, I didn't do any top-notch fine dining, but all the food I had there was incredible. Like you're going to find great food in Mexico City, even if it's not like on a Michelin star list.
I think that when you traveled, there's like, I would say like about 4 categories of restaurants that you can go to. I think that there are Michelin star ones with a white tablecloth and 14 courses. That'll be like fine dining and really elite restaurants. I think that there's ones that that'll be really good restaurants, and like that'll have your like your standards, your plates that aren't necessarily as insanely expensive. There's ones that are like tourist trappy that, you know, really feel like the area, but you'll find them on every TikTok list. And then there's kind of a level of like street food and and just that, you know, grab and go stuff that maybe if you're going to the right place, you'll know it's great. But if you're just like kind of guessing on the street, it could be hit and miss. When you're traveling, what's your kind of breakup and breakdown of the types of those restaurants? And maybe I'm missing some categories that you like to go to. And like, is it like you have a combination of all of them, or you want to avoid some, or what do you like to hit while you're traveling food wise?
I'll usually try to hit one like destination spot that's kind of like a must try, usually a fancier spot. But then the rest of the time, just street food, random like hot spots, trying to get a feel for what the locals are eating. The one country I didn't do that was in India,
India.
just because I did not have the balls to eat the street food there.
Yeah, because a
But
guy's like stirring it with his nub and then serving you with his like big toe. Just like suck it off the big toe, it's fine.
yeah, and as someone who has gotten E. coli once, like I do not want to do that again.
Indian food is incredible. It's some of the best food in the world. Some of the best food in the world, full stop. Indian street food is very daunting, especially if your microbiome hasn't been like preconditioned to deal with that.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what? I'm only here for a week. I don't want to spend 3 of those days on the toilet. I'm not even gonna fuck with it. I was eating a lot of KFC, a lot of McDonald's in India, and yeah, that was. I went to a Taco Bell in India.
Wait, do they have
Um,
hamburgers at the McDonald's in India?
no, they've got like potato burgers, veggie burgers, bunch of chicken. They've got paneer burgers, which are like fried cheeseburgers, kind of just like a
Ooh, I
giant
fuck with a
mozzarella
sag
stick.
paneer. Ooh, fuck
Yeah.
yeah. But because they're obviously not going to be messing with the sacred cow.
No, yeah, no beef at least the McDonald's in India. No beef.
And what about like a
Um,
high-end restaurant in India? Do you think anywhere is serving beef, or is it like you have to get it off the secret menu, like when you order horse in Japan?
Um, I think you can definitely find beef if you're going to like, if you're at one of the fancy hotels that caters to Westerners. I assume they would have some beef on the menu, but can't say I tried any while I was down there, I don't think.
How about horse? Have you tried horse?
I've tried horse both cooked and raw.
Which did you
Uh,
prefer?
so I tried horse in Sicily and Japan. That was the cooked horse. And then I also had raw horse in Japan. Raw horse was an experience. Like it was kind of like eating, like it was served the same way sashimi is served on a little ball of rice. Very tasty. I guess you could compare it to like beef carpaccio or beef tartare, but that's like the most shocking food I've had for something that I was like, this sounds very weird to how tasty it actually was.
I also had it. I also had the raw horse in Japan at like a little bar, Drunkard's Alley. They served it like beef tartare, like on a small plate and like kind of around with some crackers. It was it was unfortunately delicious.
Yeah, I think if you just like served people horse steaks one night at a restaurant in the US and didn't tell anybody, you wouldn't have people being like, what the hell is this horse? They would just think it's beef. There's not a huge difference in taste.
There's a cheesesteak place in Philadelphia called D'Alessandro's that got in trouble some time ago for mixing in horse meat with their cheesesteaks. And it's like, I mean, recognized by a lot of people as their favorite cheesesteak place, but they might be having cheese horse.
Yeah, because I think it's illegal to like butcher horse in the US, right?
I believe
Serve it as
so.
meat.
But I think in
Yeah.
like Iceland, you know, they have like the farms of horses running around. You're like, oh, that's cute. It's like, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
like a cattle farm. Like those Icelandic horses, small they may be, are going to be a mighty dish for someone.
hmm
Um,
Uh,
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say another weird food that sounded gross that ended up being delicious, which I had in Mexico City, is called what's it called again? Huitlacoche, I
Is that
think.
what's that? Crickets?
No, it's corn smut, is what it's
The
called.
fuck is
It's a
smut?
it's pretty much a plant disease. That's what it's called on Wikipedia. It's this type of blue fungus that infects corn, and then it grows all over the corn. It kind of looks like a tumor is just growing off of the corn. And in the U.S., they usually just throw it out, but in Mexico, it's harvested and stuffed in quesadillas, omelets, and considered a delicacy.
Really fucking weird.
Whoa, that's weird. Really fucking weird. But if you like mushrooms, I think you'd like it. It kind of tastes like a truffle almost.
Yeah, they don't play with their like the ingredients that they use in Mexico. Like they'll throw like I said, crickets or cactus on a taco down there. They're really like creative with what with what they'll consume, which hats off to them. I don't know if you ever watch this guy named China Mac. He is a travel influencer. He's a rapper. He's like an awesome rapper, really interesting influencer too. But I just watched a video of him like this past week. And I think I forget exactly where he was, and he ate off like a special item off the menu, and they hit him with some dog, bro. They served him dog, and he was like furious. He was like, "Why the fuck would you serve me dog?" And which rightfully so. And I probably think it probably plays into a negative Asian stereotype as well. But he was steaming mad that they gave him some dog. I think he wanted to fight, and that's not the kind of guy I want to fight.
Yeah, I've seen dog being served twice, but have never tried it. I think that's probably the one video that might be able to get me fired. If I just released a "whoa, that's weird" eating dog, and Portnoy sees that, like that's
Yeah.
I might be leaving the
And
company.
you're like, but Dave, I washed it down with a Lucky One seltzer. Or what kind of lemonade? Like, no, that's not gonna fly. So I brought you on for a very specific reason because at the top 10 at 10, we've been doing fun rankings of Barstool employees, and so I wanted to tap into your expertise of traveling, and I wanted to pair it with some Barstool employees, and so I wanted to do. First, we were gonna do a top 5 worst, top 5 best with whom to travel. And you said I got too many good people that I'm interested in going, not just travel. You made the caveat of going abroad as well.
Yeah.
And so how would you what's the difference in those what made it important to make that distinction?
Because there are some people that, are very experienced traveling around the US, but would either never want to go abroad or would be sort of a liability abroad, but are like fine in the US. You travel with them around the US, you're having a great time. Once you get them outside the country, things could go south. So I wanted to.
Well, what would make someone a liability?
Just either like constantly needing help navigating a different culture or not being able to pick up on cultural differences and like severely offending some people. Or like, I mean, let's get right into it. On my top 5 worst list, I have KB, and that's because he doesn't have a passport. He can't travel abroad.
Hang on, we're pulling up the PowerPoint right now.
Okay.
Is he number 5 on your list? Okay. Bottom 5 Barstool employees to go abroad with, a list by the Wonton Don. We'll go through one by one. So we'll pull them up. Yeah. I'll announce them, and we'll have you kind of explain why these people are at the bottom of your list.
All right.
5th worst to travel, or honorable mention, Rudy.
Rudy is a serial late person. Rudy's known for always being tardy, and he will fully admit it. He's almost like proud of it.
Can you say tardy? I think he's just dyslexic.
He's also dyslexic.
Okay, it's different. Different thing.
I guess that's a con too. But he's known for always being tardy. I didn't have any problems with him when he was on the Barstool trip. But yeah, like most of the time when we had a plan, like let's all meet in the lobby, he was always the dude we were waiting for. And I've talked to other people that do other shows with him, and they're like, yeah, that's usually the case. You're going to have to wait a little bit longer for Rudy. Which, that's why he didn't make the official list. That's kind of just like a minor inconvenience. But when you're traveling, when you're taking all these flights and trains, and being on time can be important.
He's too chill.
Slightly too chill. And I think he's like almost proud of always being late. Like he kind of like, he's too chill to show up on time, because like the people who show up on time, kind of means you're a square.
You're a try hard.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Showing up exactly on time is a try hard move.
Yeah, and they say that people who always show up late, they value their time more than your time. I think is what it shows, and maybe culturally, that is something that you want people who value everybody's time and experience.
Exactly.
Okay, honorable mention, Dave Portnoy. Okay, so last week we saw Spider sucking off Dave. Donnie's not going to give him the same treatment. Bro, dubs in the chat for Donnie for keeping it real and not being afraid to fucking besmirch the boss man. But I'm not surprised about this because I remember Dave going on Andrew Schultz's podcast. Andrew Schultz was like, there's incredible pizza in Japan. And he's like, no interest. I don't even want to go to Japan. I don't even want to travel like that.
Yeah, so I guess that's the main reason, just because he like isn't generally interested in the outside world. And I feel like when you're hanging out with Dave, you got to fall into like one of four camps. Like, you either got to be someone that he can constantly make fun of, you got to be someone he can constantly bicker and fight with, sort of like Ryan Whitney, Kirk Minahan. You got to be someone who's really good at laughing at his jokes, or you got to be someone that loves to gamble. So you guys can constantly be talking about gambling picks.
Wow.
And I don't know if I would like fit well into one of those four categories. I think Dave's a funny guy. So I would probably just be the dude who would just be laughing at his jokes and stuff. But there are a lot of pros to traveling with Dave. We'll get to those later. He did mention on Drop a Pin that when he retires, he'd like to go like hit the international horse racing circuit, like go to horse races in Hong Kong, Dubai and stuff. So that would be a plus. But other than that, he's not really interested in going abroad. And
I think didn't he go to like Venice with like Silvana at one point or something like that? I remember him being in Italy. I think he would do well in like a really rich place like Monaco, or what's that place in Asia that's like the Vegas of Asia that's like has insane Macau. Yeah, Dave in Macau I think would be very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there would be a lot of pros to traveling with Dave, which is why he's only on the honorable mention list. But we can keep on moving through these.
Rico Bosco office. Okay, why is that?
Yeah, just like the number one rule when you're abroad is don't get into a fight. It's never going to work out for you. I know in China, like some people, they got even like jumped by some Chinese people, but fought back really hard, hurt a Chinese person, ended up going to jail. Like, once you deal with the cops in a foreign country or the court systems, they're never going to take the foreigner's side. So I would say there's two big rules. It's don't sell drugs to locals and don't fight locals. I don't think we got to worry about Bosco selling drugs to locals, but he could pop off the handle, throw a can at some local's head, and then all of a sudden, like, we're locked up abroad.
Well, not understanding of the language also increases paranoia. You're like, was that motherfucker talking about me?
Yes. And if we ever had to share a hotel room, he has night terrors. He's also told me about his ideal vacation is just going to a resort and staying on the resort, posting up. That's fine. A lot of people prefer that. I would rather go out and be like walking around, exploring the city or town. He's just a post up at the resort and crush pina coladas type of guy.
Do we have any more honorable mentions?
I think that's it.
So without further ado, let's get to the top 5 least interesting people to travel abroad with at Barstool. And we'll start with number 5, Beef.
Beef, simply a size issue. I think Beef is a great guy. I've loved spending time with him in the office. Just logistically, it would be tough going abroad when sometimes you got to take, 2 or 3 flights. You got to take trains. Like if we were in Hong Kong, I once stayed in a hotel room in Hong Kong that I think Beef simply just wouldn't fit in. I think Beef was the size of this hotel room.
You'd be filling the corners out?
Yeah, like if you can search on YouTube, third world living Chungking mansions, like Hong Kong is just it's one of my favorite places to visit, but it's even more densely populated than New York, like tiny compact spaces. And it would be tough for beef. I also I think my number one activity when I'm abroad is just walking. Like that's how I get to know a spot. So I could easily clear 20,000 steps when I'm in a new city or something. I don't think Beef's going to be happy with that. So it's more for his own good. But Beef has gone abroad before. He's been to France and England, I think, had a good time.
Where's
So
that, Scotland in that picture?
he could be in Scotland.
And that,
And the fourth,
but the thing people don't realize is that that's a normal sized bridge that connects two towns over a river.
yeah, yeah.
The
I mean,
one place that he could go, the one place he could go though, and I think that he could go to India, and people really they might worship him.
he could get worshipped. He's going to command a lot of respect wherever he goes.
Yeah, like what they wouldn't like part ways for him in Hong Kong. You know, they wouldn't
I
revere
think
his
they would.
size.
I think they would. The issue is that Hong Kong is like super hilly. It's like densely populated like Manhattan, but just like some of the streets are, more vertical than the streets in San Francisco.
Yeah, beef in Chongqing might be tough.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of stairs. Any okay? So number four on the list, KB, a guy you've traveled with.
Yeah, a guy I have traveled with. I mean, I've been asking him to get a passport for the last probably 5 years now, and he has still not pulled the trigger. At one point, we were even planning on going abroad for a shoot, and he told everybody he was like, "Yeah, I've applied. Don't worry, like the passport's in the mail." Luckily, that shoot was canceled because KB had never even applied for his passport.
Yeah, he just, I mean, it's really not that hard to get. And somehow he limits his vacations to like Hawaii. And didn't he go to, what did he go to, Alaska or something? Like he'll explore the expanses of the United States, but God forbid he go to Montreal or, Tijuana.
Yeah, he's now done 2 trips to Hawaii, and honestly, I think he'd be saving money if he had a passport and
Yeah.
could go abroad.
There's better and cheaper places to go. I think he's an interesting guy. He's GeoGuessr fascinates him. He's pretty good at it. I think he has a decent understanding of other places. It's just the doing the paperwork seems like it's too tall a task for him.
Yeah, and it's honestly not that hard. Like White Sox Dave was able to figure it out pretty easily. They've like, yeah, it might take 6 weeks, but you just fill out a quick form. I think you can even take the photo just on your phone now. So yeah, and I've gotten discouraged over the years. I mean, he is probably one of the more knowledgeable guys when it comes to geography and the world in general. So you'd think he would be curious about seeing it, but I don't think we're ever going to get him out of the country.
You can't beg someone. You can't force him to do some shit like that. Let's get to number three. Stephen Che. Okay, why?
This is tough. I mean, so I think a big thing about traveling is being curious about the outside world. And Che is on record as having never read a Wikipedia article in his life. This man, if it's not related to sports, this man is not a curious man. Like his dad was born in Hong Kong. I don't think he could find Hong Kong on a map. Um, he can't really swim. That's a liability because that's one of my number one
Hippo
activities.
mode, yeah.
I like to go hippo mode and post up. I would be worried about going into any sort of large body of water with him. And then it was actually one tweet that probably is why he makes the list is he had a tweet that he just did tap to pay with a credit card for the first time.
Yeah, about
And
20
he,
years
like,
after it was invented.
yeah, and he was like, I was really apprehensive about doing this tap to pay credit card thing at stores, but I finally did it. Um, and so if he's apprehensive about doing that, just think of all the things he's going to be apprehensive about doing abroad.
Yeah,
Like,
that's like being apprehensive to use the latest technology. That's like being apprehensive to like drive in a car because horses exist.
yeah, like, and then below that tweet, he said he didn't even know that you could pay with just your phone. Um, So that's a problem, especially in China. China, you can pretty much like only pay with your phone now. They've become a completely like mobile society.
And soon the U.S. will as well. I think that's
Hmm.
like young people's sign of like someone they consider old, is if they're lugging around a wallet or if they just can't do it all through their phone.
Yeah.
But it's weird because Stephen Che will be like, he'll be like mesmerized by something. He'll be like, oh, like that's the basketball court where like Carmelo Anthony played once or something like that. Like he'll get excited about something that's just very just. He just has a weird scope of things that excite him.
Yes. He definitely still gets filled with childlike wonder from time to time. It's just usually not about the things that would fill me with childlike wonder.
Yes. So Stephen Che, number 3 on the list. Number 2, Big T.
Big T. No offense to him. I just, he's a very USA versus everybody type of guy. I know he's been to Ireland, but I feel like you get him outside of the US, which is definitely his comfort zone. He's going to be very suspicious of people. He's going to be kind of going in with a closed mind, already having made assumptions about these people. Um, uh, yeah, I feel like you have to have an open mind when you travel, and I don't think he's going to come equipped with one of those.
One thing I'll say about Big T, because I have traveled, I went to Atlanta with him for like a Braves, like they were about to win the World Series. I went to the Waffle House with him and Travi, had a good time with him. But I think that Big T is spending his time being young as an old man. There'll be plenty of time for him to be an old man when he's old. But he's carrying around some of these old man sensibilities, and I feel like in some ways they were beaten into him through like the internet and Barstool comment section and stuff like that. I would have loved the old Big T when he was driving around with Blackjack Fletcher singing with his eyes closed in the back of the car. But I feel like we've lost that joy of life of Big T, of him to be able to enjoy all that stuff. And since he was rejected by that, he in turn like rejects things in front of him. And I think that that's a bad attitude to have when you're traveling. You should be open and accepting as opposed to rejecting.
Exactly. And yeah, I hope it's not working at Barstool that has kind of forced him into having that attitude. But like, you do have to have a thick skin here,
The
and
chat
maybe
said,
that's kind of.
the chat said, so he's racist.
No, I would not say Big T is racist at all. I'm not saying
The
he's
chat
racist.
says that. That's Jared J.
I'm not saying he's racist. I'm saying he's very patriotic, which is a good thing. I'm patriotic as well.
Jingoistic. Yeah.
But yeah, no. I would not use the R word.
No one
when
said
it-
R. No one said that. That's one guy, and shame on you for
Okay.
saying that. Shame on that guy for saying that. I just wanted to represent all views.
he might be xenophobic. Maybe we could use the X word. I don't know.
It might be xenophobic. We have to find out if Big T is xenophobic. Okay, without further ado, number 1 on the list of people that Donnie would least like to travel abroad with.
It's yeah. Now it's not that. So I wouldn't phrase it as least like to travel abroad with. All these guys I would travel abroad with, and I think they would make for great content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
just
they'd be
think-
bad at it.
Yes. Yeah. So these are the people that it might be hardest to travel abroad with, especially because when you travel, it can just be like a long series of minor inconveniences. And that is going to just like send Frank the Tank overboard. And you can have these full-on meltdowns when you're in the Barstool office, when you're walking the streets in New York. But like in some countries, a full-on Frank the Tank meltdown is gonna
They're going
get
to
you.
hit you with a tranquilizer dart to the neck. They might cut
Yeah.
his hands off or something.
Yeah. The one place in China, they just think all white people are weird. So like I was never like self-conscious about looking or sounding weird in China because they'd just be like, oh, I guess that's what like all white people do. Like sometimes I would just find myself like talking to myself on the subway in China. And I was like, if I was in the US, I would be like super self-conscious about doing this. But they already think I'm a weirdo, regardless of what I do. So it's fine. So if
Um,
like Frank is like dog chew toy there, like maybe they wouldn't bat an eye, but in some other countries it wouldn't be ideal.
two countries that I think he would do well in because of two specific factors. One, you say Hong Kong is a ton of walking. Frank walks 20,000 steps a day, so he doesn't necessarily fall into somebody who's cumbersome to lumber around with. I think that he's going to get his steps in, so maybe Hong Kong, Frank does Hong Kong just walking all day. He's a slim man, and the other place I think he could do well, not for most of the reasons, but for one reason specifically, the trains in Japan are never late. He wouldn't have a problem with the NJ Transit type of like these fucking schedules. It's like the trains in Japan are correct to the second. And if they're late, the conductor will come off and apologize to every single person on the train. Like the amount of respect that they have for scheduling is something that Frank the Tank would definitely be able to appreciate.
And that's something I think he deserves to do at some point in his life. Like he's put up with NJ Transit for too long. I would just love to see him having like a positive freak out in Japan. Like, oh my God, Japanese transit is so competent.
They're so fucking on time.
This is fucking crazy.
He might have a hard time with like actually I think he would fall in line, like in Japan how they all like kind of stand to one side of the escalator. I think that he would maybe enjoy that the order that would bring to his life.
And the baseball culture in Japan is incredible. Very fun place to see a game. So I think he would love that. I know he's expressed interest in seeing the Miami Dolphins play abroad. I think they have a game in Spain this fall. So, I mean, Frank, if we can get Barstool to sign off on it, I would still go abroad with you. It just, it might be a roller coaster.
Spain would be interesting. I think like Ireland. I think Ireland in a lot of ways is like the training wheels abroad for like U.S. guys who don't want to stop wearing the shirt with their favorite team on it.
Yes. Although in Spain, they do kind of sleep in the middle of the day.
Oh, that could be it. But Frank is he's less of a napper now that he's so energetic with his walking around. Okay, let's get into so congratulations on Frank the Tank, another win for you, number one on the list. Let's go your top 10 Barstool employees to go abroad with, a list by the Wonton Don. Honorable mention, Rone. Okay, honorable mention. There's me on Oma de Yokocho in Tokyo. Let me know why why I've made the list. I'm absolutely honored to even make the list. What did I do to deserve honorable mention?
I'm having trouble hearing you a little bit.
Donnie, you got me now?
Yeah, I got you now. So I think at first I had you on the list and then I was like, no, maybe we'll use this where you can like make your case to me about like why you should be high on the list.
Yeah.
I know you have traveled abroad a lot. Just we have never done a trip together. Like even in the US, we've never done like a short trip together. So I just didn't have a lot to go off of. I will say, I mean, you're an experienced traveler. When you do travel, you seem to have it figured out. You're staying at beautiful spots. And if I was on the show last week ranking EQs at the office, I think you would be number one or two. And I think having a high EQ is important when you're going abroad. So I think you could be much higher on the list. I didn't have anything to base it off of.
Well, what are some potential cons though? And I could take it. I have thick Frank the Tank like skin. What would be like? Why wouldn't I be higher on the list?
Just because there was so many other people that like I had traveled with that I kind of felt like I had
Say
to
why, bro.
throw
There
on
has
the
to be a
list.
reason.
Yeah, I think it's just that we've never traveled together. I guess we haven't filmed an out of the office piece of content together, right?
Yeah,
or have we?
I don't know. I don't know that we have, which is a gross misstep because it's something I would love to do. So let me pitch myself to you. I love to see the world. I look at the world as a book, and if you don't travel, you're only reading one page of that book, which I think is an absolute disservice. I think one of the best ways that you can learn about people is by traveling, by going to where they are and meeting them where they're at. And while I do love to go places and stay in lovely places, because most of the travel I do with my wife, you know, so I'm not going to be like, hey, we're staying in this shitty place. But I've stayed in the hostels. You know, I've gone to Australia. I've gone to the shitty places. I've gone to the Ethiopian hotels that don't have a fucking shower curtain, and they're telling me that it's the luxury hotel where it just floods whenever you turn on the water. Like I've eaten, you know, the food with the hands. I've eaten the raw cow as it's shaved off of the wall. Like I've tried the different things. I don't have fears of cultures, and also I'll fall in line. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the star of the show. I want to learn about people. I want to sit cross-legged and just kind of accept the people that I'm around. I'm not worried about a language barrier. I'll like to learn some phrases that people have. I'll try to pick up some along the way. I'll try to chop it up with people. I find joy in what other people find joy in, and I think that I'd be a great travel companion if you'll ever have me.
Wow. Well done. You know what? We're going to go through this list, and then afterwards, I think we might be able to bump someone off the list and put you on it in their place.
No, I don't. I want you to have. I want the list to be the list, but it is one of my regrets so far at Barstool that I haven't been able to travel somewhere with you, and it would be awesome. When Pat Bev went to Europe, we were like talking about maybe putting something together, but like budgetary restraints struck. So let's get into this list. I don't know if you have other honorable mentions. Honorable mention, Pat, gay Pat.
Yeah, Pat was the one. He was the one guy who asked to be on the list. But he only got an honorable mention. I was thinking of putting him on the list. We have a good time together. I think we just have too many of the same bad habits, and so like we don't really balance each other out, and just it could probably lead to getting in trouble eventually. But we've gone on some great fishing trips, Las Vegas. Where else did we travel together? That might be it. Las Vegas to the Sphere and some fishing trips. Oh, and Provincetown. He was our gay ambassador to P-Town, the LGBTQ capital of the U.S., and showed us the dick doc and everything like that. So had a wonderful time with Pat and P-Town. He just doesn't make the list because
he's gay.
We would no. I love my gay best friend. Yeah, I just think we would our strengths and weaknesses are similar to the fact that we wouldn't balance each other out and probably get in some trouble.
Next up, Nicky Smokes.
I don't really know why I put Smokes here. I just put Smokes here because a lot of people were like, oh my God, on the Baldstool trip, they were just like, oh, he must be the worst to travel with. They were like, a lot of people were shitting on him. He was actually a delight out in Turkey. He definitely would never make my top 10 list, but he wasn't as bad as he may have come off in the videos. He kind of was just like, he was young with a lust for adventure. He was outgoing, down for anything, and didn't actually creep on chicks too hard.
I think that a guy who you want to travel with is somebody who, when there's music on, they want to dance. And I think that that's Nicky Smokes. Like being like fun, not being like stick in the mud or like a boring guy. I think that that's somebody like Nicky Smokes. So I think the fact that he wants to have fun, I think is one of the most misunderstood people at Barstool, full stop. So I think that I'm glad you put him in the honorable mention. Who else we got? Francis.
All right. Francis, I like. after I had already made my list, I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot about the Ferrani Does series that we filmed back in 2018, I think. No complaints that week. So he was the first person at Barstool I traveled with. He came out to China. Um, it was probably the most productive trip I've done. Like he was out for 1 week and we filmed like a full 10-part video series. We were just grinding the whole time. Um, and yeah, I was just like, I was thinking back on that trip and we weren't getting on each other's nerves or anything like that. I know he can be a little neurotic, and I think that also wears off on me. I think when he's being neurotic, then that will in turn make me more neurotic as well. Um, so I guess that's the only reason he didn't make the official top 10.
Fair enough. I think that he loves luxury travel as well. But it seems like in China, you guys were able to do interesting and fun and different things like getting your airplanes hit, which I thought was interesting. I think he's a good addition to any type of travel. I think he recently said he's not interested in traveling much right now, though. So maybe that's why he's honorable mention on the list.
Yeah, I mean, he has to travel for work just with the stand-up shows. So I think in his spare time, it might be the last thing he wants to do.
Let's get into the list. Or honorable mention, Coach Gruden. Okay, very nice.
Coach Gruden, just because I've filmed 2 football series in the past, and I think to complete the trilogy, I don't know if this is ever actually going to happen. I would love to coach with Gruden somewhere abroad. I mean, he already has foreign teams reaching out to him. There was like a team in Sweden, I think a team in Norway that were like, "Hey, do you want to come and like coach our team for a week?" And Gruden seems open to it, actually. Um, there was one German team that like I thought he was going to go out and kind of help with their training camp in May, but it may have not worked out. But I've talked to him about it. He seems on board. So if I could complete my football documentary trilogy by following Gruden abroad somewhere to coach foreign football, it would be a dream.
Yeah, it's interesting that the 2 countries that reached out to him also have all the citizens who are like blonde hair and blue eyed. They're like, "You'll fit in great with us." They're fucking
Yeah.
these northern European countries. Any more honorable mentions?
Nope.
Okay, Dave Portnoy or Big Cat. So Dave makes the worst list and the best list. So why does Dave make number 10 on the list? And how about Big Cat? We got lag issues.
Cut to the chase. Just gonna cut to the chase. Yo, yo, yo. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
This is simply due to private jet access. I know you've been invited on the private jet plenty of times, Rone, for rough and rowdy and stuff, but I feel like I feel like half the company has been on a private jet. But I still have not gotten the invite, and it is a dream of mine. And I feel like if I traveled abroad somewhere with Portnoy or Big Cat, there is a chance I would get access to a private jet at some point. Although I'm sure it's like, I don't even know if they can afford to take a private jet to Europe because that shit is like beyond expensive. But yeah, normally I'm not the most luxury traveler, but I love a taste of the high life. And I feel like with one of these 2 guys, I would get it.
I think that you say invited on the private jet like it's like I'm getting an invite to a birthday party. Like I just had to go for work. I was just like doing something with them for work. It's not like they were like, "Hey, do you want to like spend a weekend on the private jet with me?" But I know what you're saying, but their planes are too small. Like they've traveled on the planes, the types of planes that crash. That's not appealing to me. I'd rather be in the Emirates suite. I'd rather be on a double decker plane where where there's like a cuck chair and a fucking lay down bed. That's the kind of shit that I'm into.
Well, I guess I would probably have access to one of those rooms with Portnoy too, because I think when he flew to London, he had one of those rooms where you just have like the private room. And did you say cuck chair?
I think that there's like a swivel chair in some of the Emirates ones, where you have like a chair like facing the bed.
I would not be shocked. I mean, have you ever been on a flight that just has a straight up bar? Like it's got a bar and some stools where halfway through the flight you can get up and go and sit at it and order a cocktail?
No, it sounds amazing. That sounds like a foregone era of travel that fucking rules.
I saw someone on one of those flights recently, so I think they still have them, but I was like, damn, that like, where have those been all my life?
Traveling with a rich person is definitely the move. It's definitely nice to have somebody that is going to foot the bill and put you in nice places and has a high standard of taste for themselves.
Hmm.
Let's get to number 9. Large.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
You're kind of just super blurry, so I can't.
I hear
Okay,
you.
as long as you
I
can
hear
hear me,
you
'cause I
good,
can-
and you look good.
All right, cool. Large. He also appreciates the finer things in life. Um, but unlike Portnoy, I have kind of filmed content with him in the past. We get along well. Um, he claims to have the best palate at the company, which I guess I'd agree with. I think I have a solid palate as well. Just people don't think of me because I'm most known for just eating disgusting food. But I can find good food too. But with large, yeah, we would just be hitting fine dining establishments. Uh, he knows like a good bar when he sees one. So I think we would get along well and just probably end up with gout after the trip, but just be enjoying the finer things in life.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. That sounds like he's the kind of guy that you want to be going around with because he's curious. He knows a lot about food, and he's going to want to have a drink or two as well. Like that guy's going to be like, "Hey, let's stop for a beer. Let's stop for a cigar." That's the kind of shit you want.
Hmm. And I do think you would be good at that too. You seem to be a foodie of sorts.
Yeah, I think foodie is like a soft term. It sounds like it sounds like a little bitch made, but I do enjoy food. I want to try every food. There's no type of food that scares me, but I just think that it's like it's just the term is what I quibble with. But outside of that, I mean, I'll try anything. We're going to Koreatown today with the backpack, and then Chinatown after that with the backpack. And I want to try some weird shit. You know what I mean? Some ducks or some like teas that are in a can shaped like a teddy bear, or some desserts that like you don't know what the texture is going to be.
Sick. That's going to be a great stream. I'll tune in for that.
They said the chat said foodie is a soft slur.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, let's get to number 8. Chaps, of course, your co-host on Drop a Pin.
Yeah, I had to show some love to my co-host. He's not hired just because we have yet to do a trip together. Our first trip will be June 15th for the NASCAR race in Mexico City. He's also not higher on the list because he struggles with diarrhea normally. And so when you already have a diarrhea issue and then you're going abroad, that's just going to compound on the amount of diarrhea. So that's a slight concern, but just from talking to him on the pod, he's also a very curious guy. Loves to learn about foreign countries, and I think we would enjoy doing a lot of the same things
He's
when
not
we
afraid
travel.
to rough it.
Yeah, I would assume so, unless he's gone soft since the military. But he's got a lot of experience being in high stress situations, so hopefully could count on him to keep his cool under pressure.
He doesn't need
And
electronics. He could just crack a book,
yep, big reader.
Shout out to his book club. Let's get to number 7 on the list. Za.
Shout out Zani Does Zimbabwe, another travel series of mine. He was a delight the entire trip, welcomed me into his parents' home, into his ancestral village.
Goddamn.
A very fun-loving guy. I think he brings good vibes. People love to be around him, And yeah, I can say as someone who has been abroad with him, it was a lot of fun. I was calling him Zambezi Za just because he was crushing so many Zambezi beers when we were down there.
He has the opposite thing going on that beef does. You know, you fit him in anywhere.
Yeah, but he is a sturdy dude, like very thick, very heavy. So he's not as light on his toes as you'd suspect. But yeah, you could wouldn't have to worry about any space constraints in Hong Kong.
Let's get into number 6.
Chef Donnie, we've traveled together a lot, and I think one of the fan favorite series is Donnie does Tajikistan, which was me, Chef Donnie, and my tour. An insane trip where we traveled from China to Tajikistan, then from Tajikistan to Hong Kong for China. And the fact that we didn't end up killing each other, I think is just goes to show you he's a pretty solid guy to travel with.
Before we get into this top 5, you want to do me a favor, just or just leave and come back in, because it's just giving us lag, and we can't have the lag for the top 5. This is too important. So you want to leave, come right back in, and hopefully that'll solve all the issues.
Yeah, sure.
Donnie with a hell of a list so far. Dave being on both is good, and then we're looking at me on the outside looking in, and I don't do this because I want the accolades. I don't do this because I'm like, oh, put me in the list, put me on the fucking list. But at the same time, dude, I'd love to travel with him. I love traveling. I love seeing new cultures, and now I'm going to take my little people-pleasing ways and see if I can get in the fucking good graces of the Wonton Don. You know, a little intermission is nice too. We can't force the lag on everybody. Hopefully it resets the compounding of everything. You know what I mean? I thought with him being in the Chicago office, the tech would be good, but Rome would be my top 3. But Buckin, don't say that to me, man. That's too nice. Was Lil Sass on the do not travel list? Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to ask Donnie about where Lil Sass would fall on this, because I know that the chat is curious about that. Is Wonton Don in a bunker? No, he's in Chicago. Okay. A little bit of intermission. They're saying, damn it, Pete. I think, something little came up that said that his internet connection was spotty. So maybe it's his internet connection, but hopefully for the first half it was good. Donnie, we feeling better here, brother?
Yeah, how do you hear me?
You look great. You sound great.
No lag. All right, you're still a little blurry, but I think we're good to go.
Let me ask you this. Everybody's saying, where would Lil Sass fall on the do not travel list?
Little Sass is a tough cookie to crack. Like, I remember when we were both working in the New York office, a couple times I would text him a joke or something like that, just try to like kindle the relationship, and he just wouldn't respond. So I eventually was like, all right, I guess Sass is just not interested in being my friend.
But didn't you guys shoot a video with Frank the Tank together where it was a behind the scenes of a behind the scenes of a behind the scenes of a behind the scenes?
Yes, I was the first person to put Sass in a video, so he pretty much owes me his entire career.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't forget that.
Yeah, people are saying he's a lone wolf. I think that he might be hard to get
Sass,
along with.
Sass is a very outdoorsy person. I'm trying to do more outdoorsy stuff, go for more hikes. I've never fly fished before. I'm not a big fishing guy, but the fact that he appreciates the outdoors, I think we would have a good time abroad together.
And the outdoors look the same no matter what country you're in, for the most part. Outdoors could be outdoors anywhere. Let's get to the top 5, brother. Fights.
Yeah. All right, this is a tough one. Rone, if you want to make a case for why you should be, I'm just seeing if the internet connection is better out here. Turn on some lights.
You just want to show off that you have multiple pairs of French doors in your house and a fucking 2-story window. You son of a bitch.
Is this any better?
This looks, yeah, they're getting thumbs up from the booth.
Okay. So fights, he seems to be like a very go with the flow type of guy. Like he can kind of adapt to whatever situation he's in. I would say something similar about you, Rone. You're a very adaptable guy. Um, I did a duck hunting trip with fights in like rural Arkansas, and then I wouldn't call this a trip, but I also spent some time at Margaritaville Times Square with fights.
It's a trip.
And I feel like he was able to blend in both scenarios pretty well. I know he had that like spur of the moment trip to Amsterdam with Bert Kreischer, which looked like a lot of fun. Um, Seems like he crushed that trip, but he is someone I've never been abroad with. So it's just a hunch. I know he's been abroad a lot, but I feel like you and Fights have a lot of the same strengths. So if you want to point out why you think you would be better to travel with than Fights, I'm all ears.
Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to big up Fights in this situation because I think not only would he go with the flow, I think that he'll do something that is an underrated characteristic when you're traveling, and he'll dress to the environment. And so he'll wear the right thing. Like, look at him in this picture. Like, he's in Italy or some shit with the fucking little gelato. Like, he's dressing like he looks like he belongs there. And I don't know if that means that he'd be wearing a dashiki in Africa and a kimono in Japan, but I think that he would dress in a way that's like doesn't make him look like this obnoxious American. I think that he would figure out the right clothes to wear. He looks like goddamn Anthony Bourdain here. You know, he just has these understated, good-fitting clothes that make him look like he could fit into anywhere. He's not too flashy, but he's not too slovenly. He just has the exact right disposition as far as how he dresses, and I think that that could carry over to how he is just in general as a traveler.
Yeah, I I was spot on.
Best dressed at Barstool. Okay, let's get to number 4. Biz, your hiking buddy.
Yeah. Now, I don't think he would necessarily be the most convenient person to travel with, just because everyone has seen him ordering food, and I guess that's like a reoccurring thing. Like he's notorious for giving waitresses a hard time and being very picky when it comes to how he likes his food. But I don't actually mind that. Like when he had that crazy order with me, I looked pissed, but at the same time, I was very amused. He's a very amusing guy to travel with. You're never going to get bored. And he's very open-minded and very curious about the world. So, you know, he's going to attack any activity with just full-fledged enthusiasm for whatever we're doing. And the main reason I have him on this list is because like, we filmed the first episode of Pekin. The goal is to eventually take that abroad. I think the series finale, this could be in, 1 year to 5 years, should be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Because that's actually doable. I think it only takes a week as opposed to, 3 months if you're trying to climb Everest or something. But yeah, so hopefully we can turn that dream into a reality. And even though he was born abroad, he hasn't spent a lot of time abroad. And I think it'd be cool to widen his horizons.
Well, a couple things people are saying in the chat right now. One person said, real bad person if you're mean to waitstaff. That's not what was going on at all. He wasn't mean to a waitstaff. He was being very specific about his order and asking too many questions. But he had it all with a smile on his face, and he was super polite. And I know for a fact that he tips well. The other thing that they said is just don't come across any Irish travelers. I think that's a very fair point. But the third point that I'm going to make is not only you said he's come abroad, but he lives abroad. He already is abroad. Like he is in here. In America, and from all the stories, he is abroad, and he might be in abroad if he spends enough time out here. So I think Biz is an excellent choice, a great guy to travel with. Let's hit number 3 on this list.
Sydney Wells. Now, I have been abroad with Sydney Wells to the Bahamas to go spear fishing. Her dad's also big in the outdoors world, and he does all these crazy trips abroad. He once went on a trip to spear a hippo. he speared a full-size hippo with his own hand. Um, but the great thing about traveling with Sydney Wells is that she takes care of all the logistics, all the planning, and you know she's gonna plan out some crazy activities that I just wouldn't know how to do otherwise. I think she went hunting in Argentina earlier. I've always wanted to go to that part of the world. And when I do my own travels, it usually falls on me to kind of like make the schedule, put together the itinerary, and that can be very time consuming. It can be stressful. But when you go on a Sydney Wells trip, she's got it all covered. She's she's definitely on top of her shit. And I mean, I like being outdoors, but I don't like I'm not good at hunting or fishing, but it's all cool stuff that I would like to learn more about. And with Sydney Wells, you're gonna get that.
Imagine going on a bushwalk with Sydney Wells and she's like out front with a 12 gauge shotgun, like praying that some type of animal wants to pounce out because she just fucking, right away is able to fucking smoke something. That you feel safe around Sydney Wells because you know that she's seen the light leave the eyes of multiple types of animals. Super impressive by her.
Yeah.
And she's not afraid of any circumstances. I don't know how she'd be in the city, but it doesn't even have to be that. She's a country gal.
Yeah, she's a country gal, but she's definitely been abroad, seems to have thrived. I know she's been to South Africa. So I think she sent me a list of all the places she's been. She's been to South Africa, let's go see, Canada, New Zealand, Argentina, all beautiful spots that, I'm sure she would like, she would put together a great itinerary there.
Let's get to the top two on the list. Number 2, White Sox Dave.
I mean, I would say international White Sox Dave is a completely different person than domestic Dave. Domestic Dave, he's just a miserable dude. He's probably like fighting with people in his Twitter DMs that are like making fun of the White Sox. Um, Not necessarily someone I would want to like spend a ton of time with, but when you get him abroad, he gets that light behind his eyes. He starts living life. He develops a zest for life that you just don't see when he's in Chicago. And he's down for anything, down to try new foods, down for new experiences. He also doesn't really seem to think that foreign currencies are real money, so you can get him to pay for anything. He's just throwing bills around all willy-nilly. He's definitely disrupting local economies because like in countries where you're not supposed to tip at all, he'll just be like leaving like 30% tips.
Respect. He
But
doesn't want to be a
yeah,
scumbag.
no, yeah, he doesn't want to be a scumbag, but I guess if you talk to Lowe, do not do that. You're fucking it up for all of us. Um, but yeah, no, just he really, I think he was probably the MVP of the bald stool trip. He got along with like all the random stoolies we brought, all the other coworkers, and then just the local people in Turkey too. Uh, and I had the honor of being the first person to ever take him abroad. So he's always going to have a soft spot in my heart. Um, and yeah, he can kind of roll with the punches. Our first time abroad together in the Dominican Republic, he woke me up the second night being like, I got to go to the hospital. I'm dying. I guess he had food poisoning. Um, so I found a clinic. He got on antibiotics and then immediately just started drinking on the antibiotic. It's not small. Even falling content.
Damn, I know whatever you said. I know whatever you just said was funny as hell.
Okay.
I lost it.
If I have to say it again.
Yeah, we lost you for a second. One more time. One more time.
Okay. Should I leave or just take it from the top?
I just he drank on the antibiotics.
Oh yeah, is that where I left off?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where
he
we lost
drank
you.
on the antibiotics. He drank on the antibiotics and got like way more sick. I think he probably came down with COVID, but even though his body was slowly falling apart, he just you know, stayed focused and made sure we still got great content. So he was dedicated to the cause, and it's going to take a lot to slow him down, you know.
White Sox Dave, always a great guy to have around. I think he's very underrated in his kind of joy for life. I think that he could be funny in lots of different ways than people would expect, but if he's somebody who's curious and who is not afraid to talk, I think those are the kind of people that you want around in high stakes circumstances like that. It's been a hell of a list so far, but without further ado, Donnie, we want to get your number one person to travel abroad with from Barstool. Wow, PFT, great selection. Tell us why.
It was a gonna be
We lost you, brother.
okay. I'm gonna try to leave and come back in. I don't know what's going on because it says the Wi-Fi is pretty strong, but I gotta see. All right, I'll leave and come right.
Oh wow, this is some Inception type shit. I like this. Thank you for everybody for sticking with us. How can you work at Barstool and not have good Wi-Fi internet, bro? Leave him alone, bro. Leave him alone, bro. The suspense, isn't it suspenseful, Bella? Shout out to Bella for the cash, bro. Just dropping a fucking cool ass 20 on us. W for PFT. I mean, PFT would be high on my list too. He just is. I've traveled a bit with him for a putt punk. He just is the man. Just curious, nice, easy to get along with. I'm pretty sure that they went to Hong Kong together. I've traveled the U.S. with him. Never gone abroad with him, but you know, I haven't been abroad with a lot of people from Barstool. I went abroad with Buddha Ben and Caleb, and that might be it when we went to France. But it was a hell of a trip. W for the fellas. Everybody in here saying Nikki Smokes is month to month. Saw a lot of that. That's interesting. That is interesting stuff, bro. We need to get Nikki Smokes back on fucking top, bro. Need to have people stop fucking around with our boy Nikki Smokes and let him fucking flourish, okay? Can Nikki Smokes get back on top one time, bro? Show that man the respect that he deserves. Let's make him decade to decade. Nikki Smokes, come up. Time for the come up. Donnie, we got you back, bro. We got one more on the list. It's PFT, your Hong Kong Sevens brother.
Yeah, so our first time meeting up in Hong Kong, we had probably only met one time prior, uh, but that didn't stop our relationship from blossoming. I kind of saw that he's just, he attacks content with a ferocity that you don't see too often. He kind of just like, he got right off a 16-hour flight and we were just hitting the streets. Kind of just walking around the crazy nightlife streets of Hong Kong, interviewing random passerbys. And then the like at Hong Kong Sevens when we did Molly, that was kind of all his idea. I was like, dude, I don't think it's a great idea putting that on camera. And he was like, no, it's fine. It'll be hilarious. And then it turned into one of my best videos. So kudos to him for really not giving a fuck and just you know I guess I don't know how I want to say it, grabbing life by the balls. Like he really wasn't phased. The fact that he flew 16 hours to Hong Kong, like raged for 2 hours and then flew 16 hours back to New York so he wouldn't miss a podcast, like that's insane. Like I think that would destroy a lot of people mentally and physically, but for him it didn't seem to be too much of an issue. So I was just impressed with what he's been able to do. And then we met up at the World Cup, and it was a similar thing. He was kind of just like in and out, only at the World Cup for 3 days. Uh, wasn't phased at all by the time zone change, by the cultural differences. Just kind of throws himself in to any situation that he finds, which leads to good content, but more importantly, a lot of fun.
PFT, one of the most fun guys you'll be around, one of the nicest guys you'll ever be around, one of the most curious guys you'll be around, one of the most talented guys that you'll be around, and just a genuinely exciting human. And honestly, he was such a gem over there that he made you look like the asshole when you punched that guy in the mouth.
I think I came out looking good in that interaction.
I'm joking.
That dude was dropping F-bombs. He was calling people
nasty slurs.
Yes.
Foodies. I
homophobic slurs.
No. Yeah. I thought it was a real F-bomb.
Yeah. No.
Damn, Donnie. Well, what an incredible list, bro. Thank you for so much of your time, and thank you for breaking it down. I think that this is going to hurt some people's feelings, the people who wound up on the naughty list, but I think that you had a good reason for it, and you weren't scared to say the truth, to say the real. And I think not being scared is one of the tenets that make you a great traveler. You know, the fact that you're not scared to get into certain situations, you're not scared to stand up for yourself when someone calls you a foodie, or you're not scared to see the world as it is. And brother, what do you have coming up? Anything fun coming up that we could check out other than Drop a Pin, which people should be checking out every week?
Yep, Drop a Pin drops on Mondays. Going back to Mexico City, June 15th for the NASCAR races. If you want to go, fly down. I'll probably see you there. It's a very fun city. I think it's becoming almost too popular with Americans, that I heard that some spots in Mexico City are dulling down how spicy their salsas are because of American tourists.
Because the gringos?
Yeah, just because of gringos. So don't do that. You don't need to change because of us. Hopefully we'll film another episode of Pekin in July, maybe in Wyoming. And Rone, I would love to do some with you at some point, at least maybe some IRL streams. I know you've got some coming up. At some point, we should try to get a joint IRL stream on the books.
That would be so fucking fire. I mean, I'm doing this new series where we go from one little neighborhood to another little neighborhood in New York. So like little, going to like Little Ireland, Little Italy, Little Argentina, Little Brazil. Today we're doing Little Korea and Chinatown. But having you out for one of those would be so fun, or linking up somewhere where I think those types of streams are always so fun when there's an event, when people are outside, when people are in the streets, and you can explore a city, but also there's people outside to interact with. So let's find something. Let's get something on the books.
Yeah, I liked how Nick Watts did that drinking around the world thing in New York.
So good.
That could actually be a solid stream too, if you were like, okay, let's see. In a 3-hour time span, how many drinks from how many countries can I get? Something like that.
Also, I was going to do a stream where I walk from tip to tip of Manhattan and get a different drink every 15 blocks. I don't know if you're interested in that. That'd be fun too.
I would fly out for that 100%. Would you walk along the west side? Because I've always wanted to do that. There's almost kind of like a green park that goes up the entire west side of Manhattan.
I would want to. I'd be down for whatever. I'm not scared. If you'd fly out for it, we would definitely make it happen, bro. We'd let you. I mean, I wouldn't make you do all the scheduling, but I would let you have as much autonomy as you wanted as a creator and as my drinking buddy.
Tip to tip, count me in. I'll find some time.
Love it, brother.
Yeah. Yep. And hopefully Bald Stool season 2 come like October. But I think your hair is looking pretty good, so I don't think you'll be on board with that.
Yeah, maybe someday though. I'd love to get out there for even a Brazilian butt lift or something.
There's always a spot for you.
You're the man, brother. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you so much for your time. Keep the content up. We're massive fans over here at RoneDotCom. Fire it off in the chat for Donnie. You're the fucking GOAT, bro.
Thanks, bro. Love all your content.
Of course, bro. Shout out to fucking Donnie, bro. Shout out to Donnie. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We went long today, but that's because you guys are the fucking goats for rocking with us. So not gonna hit any videos. We'll just let you live. You know what I mean? There's more content coming out today. We're gonna do a live stream later on today. I'm gonna be filming the theme song thing with Jet Ski later on today that we're gonna be putting out. We're gonna be putting out the yoga video probably tomorrow and have that coming out later this week. So much content, all gonna be right here on RoneDotCom. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. See you next time.